Coming up this week on Cooking Crave, we have rhubarb, rhubarb, rhubarb. 3 rhubarb recipes coming your way. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Rhonda and
And I'm Laverne Dee.
And we have 3 rhubarb recipes that, if you like rhubarb, you got to stay tuned to this show.
Absolutely.
Because we got some tried and true recipes from Marge Dangle, Ramona Kovash, and one of your own. So
that's correct.
You got 3 excellent cooks. What more could you want?
Yeah. And it's rhubarb season.
That's right. That's right.
And we have rhubarb, don't we? So we need to use it up. There's nothing better.
All right. We're going to prove our cameraman wrong because he doesn't think rhubarb can taste good.
That's right.
We're going to prove him wrong. All right. First thing we're going to make is a rhubarb sour cream cake. This is from Marge Dangle. The ingredients that you're going to need if you're going to go ahead and cook along with us are you're going to need eggs, 2. You're going to need a cup of sugar, a teaspoon of vanilla, a cup of sour cream, 1.5 cup of flour, a half teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of baking soda, and then you're going to need 3 cups of fresh rhubarb cut up, and then 3/4 cup brown sugar, 1 cup chopped nuts, optional, and that looks like that's about it for that one.
That's right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't think you need much more. It's going to be delicious. All right, I'm going to pass that one off. And then this one's your recipe.
Correct.
A buttermilk rhubarb bread. Bread, awesome. You're going to need 3/4 cup of brown sugar, a 1/3 cup of vegetable oil, an egg, 1/2 cup of buttermilk, and then a 1/2 teaspoon each of salt and baking soda, 1/4 teaspoon cinnamon, a teaspoon of vanilla, 1.5 cups flour, a cup of diced rhubarb, a 1/3 cup chopped pecans toasted,
Yep.
and a 1/2 cup of white chocolate chips for the topping. And, well, it looks like this is the topping. 2 tablespoons sugar, a teaspoon of butter, a 1/4 teaspoon cinnamon. That's a lot of ingredients for this bread, Mom.
Oh, okay. But it's good.
Well, I know it's going to be good.
Yeah.
But you're making it. I can eat it.
Okay.
And then Ramona Kovash submitted this recipe. It's a rhubarb cheesecake. Cheesecake.
Cheesecake, yes. She brought it to work, and it was absolutely wonderful.
All right. So you can speak from experience. That's awesome.
Absolutely. After she brought it, I had to have the recipe.
All right. You're going to need 2 cups of flour and of oatmeal, a cup of brown sugar, 2 sticks of butter, and 2 eggs, 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1.5 cups sugar, a teaspoon of vanilla, 2 packages of cream cheese, 8 ounces each.
Yes.
See, that's the good part right
Yes.
there. And 3 cups of rhubarb.
Yeah.
So this one sounds a lot easier than yours.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, though.
Yeah, it's different. This is dessert, the other one's bread, so we'll just do it.
They're both going to be fabulous,
right.
I know.
But we're going to start with the bread because we want to get that in the oven. The bread takes about an hour to bake.
Okay.
And, got the oven on already at that 350 degrees, but get that in the oven, then we can mix up our other desserts while that is baking. And stuff.
Perfect.
Although we do bake all of these, that one is the lengthiest one, for baking. So okay, I've got my mixture here, and for the rest we're going to start with 3/4 cup of brown sugar. We'll put that in there, and then 1 egg, and then a 1/3 cup of oil, vegetable oil.
So when you have rhubarb, it's just a good thing just to bake all day.
It is, yeah, definitely. And there's so many different things you can do with rhubarb. You have your desserts, your breads, your pies, your custard bars. I have a fabulous rhubarb custard bar we made on the show some time back. That's in our cookbook. Absolutely
delicious.
Delicious. You cannot go wrong with that one. So I'm going to just mix this up a little bit here, and then we're going to add 1/2 cup of buttermilk. And I see I've got my
Your chips in there.
my chips in my half a cup of my measuring cup. So we're going to bring that out. Okay, set those aside, and we're going to just shake that up just a little bit. And put that in there. Put that down. So although there's quite a few ingredients, it isn't hard to assemble with that. So we're going to just mix that up a little bit, and then we'll add our dry ingredients.
Okay.
So many recipes say, mix your dry ingredients in a bowl, and then your liquids, and you combine them. It's too much.
Making other bowls dirty.
Absolutely. Either that isn't necessary at all. It just maybe it sounds better when they're putting recipes together. I don't know, but like I said, it's not necessary. So we'll get our, it's the egg, the brown sugar, and the buttermilk and the oil here. So
Okay.
that's mixed. So now we're going to add, it's just 1.5 cups of flour.
Okay.
And I usually, get that all pre-measured first. And 1/2 teaspoon of salt.
Well, this truly is from scratch, so.
It is. And 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. So we want that. And then it says 1/4 teaspoon cinnamon. And I really like the taste of cinnamon, so I probably add just a touch more. You can't have too much cinnamon. And cinnamon is so good for you. So, and then a teaspoon of vanilla. I'm going to just use my liquid, and I'll just put a squeeze in there, and that looks like a teaspoon there. So we're going to just mix that up. And it would be just a large loaf pan, whatever, but I like to make it in 2 smaller ones.
Okay.
And this way, if you don't want to use it all at once, you can put one away and freeze it for going camping. And
Or you
stuff
can
like
give it to your favorite daughter.
which is my only daughter's, so I suppose. So let's just get that blended up. Okay, so it doesn't take that long to get that all mixed and stuff. So now we'll just take that out. And with the bread, you do not need to beat it for a good length of time. Just beat it enough to get it well blended and mixed.
Okay.
So, I don't have enough spatulas in my house. I need to use my fingers.
So when you forget to when you were doing this is how you truly cook. So
That's right.
You're just letting the viewers get a peek into Laverne's kitchen.
To what I do, yes. So we're going to add our 1/2 cup of toasted pecans. And I just took the pecans and put them in the oven and toasted them. There. It just makes them a little extra crunchy, and it actually does give them a little different flavor though too. So 1/2 cup of white chocolate chips.
Okay.
Put that in there. And we need a cup of rhubarb.
All right.
So
We got the rhubarb bucket.
Yeah. You want to make it definitely a nice generous cup. And anytime I'm making rhubarb and it says 2 cups, 3 cups, if I have a little left over, or 1/2 cup, or even a cup, you can just put it in there, and it just makes it that much better. It makes a really nice, moist bread. So, with that little extras of the pecans in here and your white chocolate chips, you just know how good that's going to be. And rhubarb doesn't have, in the recipes, it's not so distinct, but it just makes it nice and moist and just give it really nice zing to it. So let's put about half in our first pan here.
Okay. And we grease these pans really well beforehand.
Definitely. You want to grease your pans very generously with that. And 2, when your bread is done, usually when I bake bread, I'll you know, take it out of the pan right away, you know, flip it over, put it on a cooling rack. This says definitely, you know, let it cool in your pan for a little bit, because otherwise, you know, it can fall apart, and we surely don't want that to happen. And then we're going to top that with a little bit of cinnamon and sugar on there to make the topping.
Okay.
And like I said, it says bake at 325 to 350 degrees for, it says 55 to 65 minutes. So I usually, when I do that, put it in at 60 minutes. And possibly too, because we are using a smaller pan, might be just a good idea to start at that 55 minutes.
Okay.
And if you need a little bit more, it's easy to add that. But you don't want to overdo it. Okay. So now I did put, it's 2 tablespoons of sugar, a teaspoon of cinnamon here, and a tablespoon of butter.
Okay.
So I just want to put that in the microwave for a little bit to melt the butter.
Okay.
So then we can make that topping. It only take about 25 seconds at the most there, just to melt that, and it just gives it a nice crunchy, you know, topping to that.
Okay.
Makes it, you know, nice eye appeal, but it's just really good.
The crust is the best part when it comes out of the oven.
Oh, to eat it when it's warm is absolutely the best and stuff. So let's just check. I think, oh, that's already melted at that 20 seconds. So I'm going to just stir that up here. And then just divide that and put it basically down the center of your bread. And again, like I said, you can just put it in one loaf pan if you so choose. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna put that. And this is where that extra little cinnamon too really is a nice added touch to it. Like I said, I like cinnamon. That's one thing I don't worry about measuring so much. I just add it because it's good and it's good for you. And then just spread that cinnamon, sugar, and butter a little bit so you get that evenly coated there. Get that wiped. And so actually when our viewers see this, you know, that's all that we're doing. So let's get that in the oven.
All right.
And let's put the timer, like I said, let's start at that 55 minutes and stuff. So, okay, the next one we're going to do is our rhubarb sour cream cake.
Okay.
And this one's really easy to assemble, I think, you know, very much so. We're going to start with 2 eggs. And I'm actually not even going to use my mixer for this. It goes really well. You just want to blend everything in there and not necessarily have to really beat it a long time.
Okay.
And stuff. So we're going to, so that was the 2 eggs, and I'm going to do 1 cup sugar.
Okay.
And we're going to do a cup of sour cream. And this has some really neat topping on it. You got some brown sugar and some nuts. And of course, that's certainly optional, or you can do half and half. Whatever, I would certainly do the brown sugar on the whole cake and stuff. But then when it's done and just slightly cooled, you know, Cool Whip or ice cream would be so good on this cake. So we're going to just blend that good here. Okay, and we want to put a teaspoon of vanilla in there.
Okay.
And again, you can use your liquid, and I have my powder that I really love. Okay, now the next thing we need is 1.5 cups flour.
Okay.
Okay, and we need half a teaspoon salt. There. And it says a teaspoon baking soda. And remember, you want to make sure you want to grab the soda, not the baking powder and stuff. So
there is a difference.
there is a big difference. So there we go. And just blend that.
That's not too thick of a batter at all.
No, it's not real thick, not like, our bread was, but it's a little bit thicker than what you normally would have if you're mixing a cake. And that, or especially box cake.
Right.
Those are there. So what we're wanting to do, we want to spray our pan there.
Okay.
Okay. There we go. And then now we're going to add three cups of rhubarb.
Okay.
And let me just double check this.
Make sure you didn't forget anything.
We didn't. We got our flour, our salt, our baking soda. And in this one here, we do not use the cinnamon like we did with our other recipes. So.
All right. So you have a rhubarb plant out back, so you get the first pick. Now, one thing about rhubarb, I don't know much about it, so I'm just going to tell me. Does it come back several times in a year, or is it generally your first cutting is your best, and you shouldn't really go far beyond that?
No, your first cutting or picking is definitely your best, but you do usually get a second picking off of it.
Okay.
And stuff. So, and it just depends upon, the weather too. Rhubarb likes it wet and cool. If it really gets hot, it doesn't. Even your rhubarb stalks will get a little bit stringier. They're not as tender as that first cutting.
Okay.
Your first picking is usually always your most tender, and that so. And if I remember, I think rhubarb is actually considered a vegetable, but it's always used as...
It's put in desserts.
It's in desserts and that, so. And it's hard to imagine because rhubarb is such a big thing around here that I just expect it to be all over the country.
It's not, though.
No.
Our cameraman has family in Texas that does not know what to do with this.
Right. First time their wonderful neighbors brought them rhubarb, it's like, what do we do with this? And stuff. So,
There's a little invention called the internet.
Oh.
Lots of recipes on the internet.
But maybe back then, maybe there wasn't so much internet. I don't know. But he's not that old, so I guess we will give him the benefit that he probably grew up with the internet.
I think that's very mean. He can't retaliate.
Isn't that good?
It's probably the only time you're going to win.
Yeah. Okay, we got that scraped in there. Good, so let's spread that out.
I just smell the vanilla.
Oh,
Your powdered vanilla just has a best smell.
it does, and it does really, have that. It's a little bit stronger. It's just, that's, I just really like it and stuff. So the next thing we're going to do is put on 3/4 cup of brown sugar.
Okay.
And I'll just take that and across that.
This is what's going to make it awesome.
And see, because, really, we don't have a lot of sugar in the batter. 1 cup of sugar is not a lot for, the rhubarb, because rhubarb is a little bit tartar and stuff. So this, that topping on it. But what's so great is that it gives you know, a nice crunch top to it. It looks really good. And then it says a cup of nuts, and again, this is optional. You wouldn't have to use the nuts, but I certainly do like it. Walnuts, pecans, anything like that that you would like to use would be just fine.
Okay.
And then just spread that out. And
Yeah, that didn't take too long at all to put together.
To assemble that. So then now we're going to just put that in the oven, and this one does say 40 minutes. And that's the oven, the timer right now says 43 minutes, so we'll just watch that and catch it, so we'll be able to put that in.
Okay, sounds great.
I'll have you open the oven for me. And our bread is definitely baking there, so then we'll come back over and we'll get started with our other recipe. Okay, our next dessert now is the rhubarb cheesecake.
Okay.
So what we're gonna, it starts with 2 cups oatmeal and a cup of brown sugar and 2 cups of flour. That in there. And we're going to add 2 sticks of butter, which is a cup of butter. And that, we're gonna add that in there, and then we're just going to mix that and make it crumbly, and half of that's going to go on the bottom of the pan, and then we're going to add the cream cheese and the rhubarb in the middle and put the crust on and bake that.
Okay.
And this also does bake for 40 minutes.
Okay.
At the 350, so we should be able to get all of it in the oven at once. So. And we did have our discussion. Our cameraman isn't the young pup I thought he was. Because he, internet and dial-up
They haven't been around that long.
Yeah, so he wasn't. So anyway, either, it makes me not feel so old now, see?
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, just because I'm your mother, I'm not that much older.
No, you're a young mom. You're a young mom to me.
Okay. All right. So
I need to spray this for you, right?
Yes, you want to spray that. And again, the easiest when you're mixing flour, oatmeal, and brown sugar together, butter, just get in there with your hands and blend that well. Get a nice crumble there. So let's just pat that down, and I might just put another handful in here. I'd rather see you have a little bit more on the bottom than
the top.
Correct. You know, you want to make sure you have a good crust there.
Okay.
Okay, there. Corner, and we'll just set that aside there. And now I'll just rinse my hands off here. And we'll mix up our, we're going to start with the 2 ounces of cream cheese.
2 8-ounce cream cheeses.
That's correct, 2 8-ounce.
I know what you meant.
And that, but we just want to make sure our viewers know what I meant, right?
Yes.
And that, so. Again, I took the cream cheese out just a little bit earlier so that it would start to soften and, you know, it would blend well. So. Now, did I get started before you, or was I just a little bit quicker this time?
Your package was already pre-started.
Hello. There we go. And then we're going to beat that with the 2 eggs. We're going to put our eggs in there.
Okay.
And okay, there, and then it's 1.5 cups sugar.
Okay.
Beat that, and we're going to put in a teaspoon of vanilla. There we go. And we're going to this one here, and it's a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. Now we still have our baking soda here from our other recipe, but this one does not need any baking soda, so we'll just set that aside so
Okay.
that doesn't go in there by mistake. So now we'll just bring this over here, and we just want to slowly, and we want to blend that really good until it's nice and creamy and smooth. So
Okay.
it'll take a few moments for that. So
Okay.
we'll be back with our viewers shortly.
Sounds good.
All right, now our cream cheese, sugar, and egg is all beat up well here. And you can see it's nice and fluffy there.
Yes.
So the next thing then we're going to want to add is 3 cups of rhubarb.
Okay.
Okay.
And these are heaping cups.
And that's good.
Now you probably would have used a lot more rhubarb than I did because you have just a little bit left.
That would be...
But that'd be a little bit too much to put in there.
Probably. But yeah, just a little bit more. So then now we're going to just put that over the top of our oatmeal and flour crust here. And it makes a very nice filling. It's, you know, a nice healthy dessert, you know?
Sure.
Yeah.
You do whatever you takes to make you believe that.
Okay.
Rhubarb by itself might have some nutritional value, but that's about it.
Okay. So just spread that evenly out there.
Oh, this looks good.
It's nice, you know, to see that you do have a nice generous filling in there. It's not skimpy at all. So the next thing we're going to do is put the remaining crust on here. We'll just put it on there and just spread that around here.
Okay. Now, do we need to pat this in, or you just kind of leave it as a crumble on top?
Just a crumble on top, yeah. We're not going to pat that down into the filling part of it. So just spread it around.
And no butter on the top? We're not drizzling anything else on it?
No, we got a good generous amount of butter in when, you know, the 2 sticks with what we use to mix it up. So
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
Let's come over here, and I think what I'm going to do, I might turn my pan around that I have in here and set that to the side. Okay. And that'll fit in just right here. And you may not always have 3 different things going at once.
Yeah.
But it's great. And this is a 25 minutes, and that bakes at 40, so we just have to calculate 15 more minutes, right?
All right.
We're going to see how well our memory serves us. Let's turn the timer off for this. Our bread and our rhubarb sour cream cake was done. We've already taken that out. So the last one is our rhubarb cheesecake here. Oh, doesn't that look good?
Awesome.
I really like things with that crumb crust, you know, that oatmeal and brown sugar, and it's just usually always just perfect. So we're going to bring that over here, and being that it's just taken out of the oven, it's going to be a little bit harder to cut into that. But I would like to cut a piece of our rhubarb cake here, and just to show.
Okay.
Okay, it really comes out very nice. And it's a little warm, but not too much. We're going to feature that little bit of ice cream with that. I think we can handle that.
All right.
Okay, well, how do we feature all of these things here?
Well, we'll just pull this one because it's very hot.
Yeah, we don't want to touch that
We
one.
need to let this one set up a little. But it is going to...
And that's our rhubarb cake with the, you know, the brown sugar and nuts on top, and that ice cream. And this is what our bread looks like. There.
Well, you can't beat these.
No, it's so...
And Marge and Ramona and your recipe, you can't beat these.
No.
You really can't. To get these recipes, just go to Consolidated's website, www.ctctel.com. Please submit your recipes for us to cook for you. And as always, thank you to the Workshop for being our sponsor. Join us next week, Tuesday, when we do it all over again here on Cooking Crave. Thanks for joining us.